Hey, what's up? It's Duskmouse. Today I want to talk about a pedal that I followed the development of for quite a while. It was very cool how they rolled it out, and it's very complex, and it sort of grabbed the world's attention for quite a while, and it's still really, really desirable. That is, but of course, the Chase Bliss Blooper. This pedal is a looper. It does lo-fi. It can drop out elements with this mode called dropper, where it can just mute little pieces of your recording. There's a knob that controls layers. You can export over USB. You can sync over MIDI and control over MIDI. There's CV and expression. There's even these arcade buttons to like pop in and out of modes. It does a ton, and there's even div switches on the top, which Chase Bliss pedals do, but yeah, it's got a lot going on, and it's crazy cool. And I'm gonna try to show you as much as I can in the time frame that makes sense, because this thing does a lot. Really, really cool, and really excited about this one. So let's dig into it. This is Signal Colors. So the Blooper has a lot of controls, as you can see. There are 6 knobs here controlling various features and functions. There are 4 toggle switches that each have 3 positions. On the front, you've got these really cool little ring lit soft buttons. And then up top, you've got 2 soft latching foot switches. On the back, you've got a really extensive set of dip switches that let you route, control, and do all kinds of different things, which I won't really get into. There's definitely better videos out there that talk about the specifics of how all this stuff works, but there's definitely a lot to cover otherwise. You get 1/4-inch jacks on the sides, both left and right side. This is for expression or CV. This is your audio in, your audio out, and this is MIDI control, or kind of external control. This first knob controls volume, your overall volume of the effect. This is the layers control, which is really cool. It allows you to scrub through previous recorded layers and go back to more recently recorded ones, so you can kind of hop around, and it's like an undo redo, which is really neat. This is your repeats control, which changes function whether or not you're using it almost more as like just a delay that's interesting, or just as the full-on loop effect. And we'll get into a little bit more of that as we demo. Mod A controls the value, or really kind of the, it's sort of a multifunction knob, but it controls the value or the position or amount of what's happening with the first modifier, which is selectable here with 1, 2, or 3 in this 3-position toggle switch. And just like modifier A, modifier B does the same thing. So it's sort of like a matching pair. It's just you have 1, 2, 3 for these, and then 1, 2, 3 for this one. You can configure what 3 are positioned here when you hook it up through USB with the web-based editor as well. In between the two, you've got a stability knob, which adds sort of like a lo-fi sort of characteristic. It can add a little bit of warble or noise, which you can also tailor with the web editor. This middle toggle controls the sort of use case, or kind of, well, the way you want to set up the blooper to be used in whatever kind of setup you have going. So on the far left is normal, middle is additive, and right is sample mode. Normal on the left is just more like the normal operation, where you'd record in your loop and apply the effects on top of that loop. Additive means it'll layer or stack the effects as you go through and record multiple takes. You can write over and just kind of increase the effect or double them up for that kind of stacked sort of interesting layering effect. And sample mode is kind of like a one-shot mode where you can trigger the playback instead of just having it loop always, which is pretty fun and a different way to use the blooper as well. This middle toggle is really kind of like your housekeeping menu system kind of thing. It allows you to either preview, load old samples, preview them, or recordings or loops, or save a current one, and yeah, it lets you kind of navigate those features. This foot switch works as the play record foot switch, and then this one is more just like a stop. If you want to erase your recording, you'll press and hold both at the same time until it flashes. And then your recording will be erased and you can start over. These front-facing buttons down here will let you toggle on and off the effect. So these will let you set them with the switches and the values, but then as you press and release these down below, they will either sort of punch them in and out, which is really cool. You can get pretty performative with that if you have it set. Say you have it set to a filter, and this to some kind of crazy pitch thing. You can, you know, kind of blip them in and out and do some really cool, yeah, it's like punch-in effects. So the Blooper is a pretty complicated, really functional, multi-function, really hands-on type of pedal that you really have to spend a lot of time to learn. And there are other features and other things that maybe I didn't cover very well here, which I definitely encourage you, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what this can do, definitely check out the manual. I'll link to it in the description. But because my channel isn't so much about the nitty-gritty of everything, I just kind of want to demo and show you what things can do and have some fun. Let's get to it. I'll hook it up and we'll hear how it sounds. Okay, so first up, I've got the Blooper paired up with the Ciat-Lonbarde Tetrax, a really interesting sort of raw 4-voice analog weird little synth. And it's cool because, and actually this is a good note, this will play a note on press and then on release, and I only have it coming in mono, so I'm only getting, because they're panned hard left and right, I'm only getting one channel, so I'm only getting the press sound coming through. And as you may have picked up from the intro, this is a bit more of like a primer plus sort of video. I'm not really going to go crazy in depth on this because it's really deep. You know, you can set these 3 different modes for this toggle, 3 different modes for this toggle. You can switch them around and rearrange them and add some and remove some. And so really what I wanted to do, and what the whole sort of goal of this video is, to kind of just get you an idea of what it can do without going crazy in depth in the details. And like I've mentioned, and I'll definitely mention again, definitely check out the user manual and guide, quick start guide, all that kind of stuff. I'll link to that in the description. So let's get started. As a reminder, the clean tone sounds a little crazy, but I kind of want that, so that's okay. So the Blooper is currently set with both of the toggle switches off, or the front button switches off, which are like the bypass modes. So so we'll go ahead and just record a little loop in here. So there's our loop. Turn it down a little bit. But we'll go ahead and engage this left toggle mode. So stability is kind of high, so you hear it kind of like moving all over the place with pitch. That's kind of cool. But this is I think it's the chopper, so you can get little blips. I'll reduce the stability so we can just kind of hear what went in. And right now it's just the left toggle, the left side, that's activated. So we're only hearing this one mode, which currently is mode 3. So as you can hear, it's kind of chopped off. And then as you go more and more to the further extremes, you get a shorter snippet of the recording, all the way down to a blip. But into mode 2, and this is dropper, I believe, where it actually will mute pieces of the recording. And as you go left of 12 o'clock, they'll be either cyclical or they'll be randomized in the way the dropping happens. So if you have something like that and you up it with stability, or up the stability, you get like a real lo-fi sort of situation. And I can turn the volume down of the output of the looping portion, but still pass through. Which sounds terrible right now. This is a bad example, but... Went to mode 1, which this is a smooth speed, so as you can see, basically 12 o'clock is more or less a full stop, but then you go just right of center and it'll play back slow with pitch included. I mean, the pitch is slowed as well. So like full speed, clearly it's faster and higher pitched, but then as you go left of 12 o'clock, it's reverse, and reverse slow. And then we can speed up. So I'm gonna let it play forward and slow. Play through it. Let's record some more on top. So you hear what I added to it there, those extra little blips. I'll speed it up so you can tell a little better. We'll wig out the stability here, make it sound real crazy. And I'll go ahead and gauge the second side here. So I think this is the stepped speed. I'm not sure what mode this is, but it's interesting. I think it's doing like a forward, backward sort of playhead kind of thing, but not 100% sure. And this last mode is a filter, which is cool because it goes from high pass to low pass. So you could have something like that. That's kind of useful, and then you could play through. Not that it sounds the most beautiful, my tuning. It's experimental tuning. It's because these pitch bars have so much range, and then you change these knobs. There's these chaos knobs. Anyway, kind of crazy. You could punch in and out these effects based on where you have these front-facing buttons, either depressed or not. So I can undo that one. You'd see our speed came back up, and then dip it back in. The The filter's pretty obvious because it's so drastic, but we'll see here. So that's kind of cool. You can use that in a performative kind of way. So I'm going to record some more on top. So when you have a full-on mess, but I did that intentionally. Because I want to demonstrate layers. So as I turn the knob counterclockwise, I have just the first layer, the first recording. And then turn a little more, and I got the second one thrown in. A little further, and there's the third layer. And there we are with the fourth. So kind of cool. If you have something that sounds good happening in here, then you can add to it. You can go backwards or forwards to either strip or add back. So I'm going to flip the main sort of recording mode from normal into additive. And then what you can do there is lock in these effects into your loop. And so what actually happened is because the reason that dipped so far low in pitch was because it recorded those locked in and then it reapplied the active effects to it. So as I remove those, now the effects are turned off, but you can hear all of that was recorded. So it's kind of cool. You can stack if you want to use more than just two. So let's see what we can get. Turn the volume up a little bit. So it's kind of an interesting loop. We'll engage the second side here. It's the filter, but that's kind of cool. reverse the layers, and so I can actually back out of all that if I wanted to. And press both at the same time to delete it. And that's an example of a synthesizer with the blooper. I think, obviously I didn't play the most fantastically and it didn't sound the most amazing, but it did definitely kind of show off the layers elements and some of the effects and how it can change up your loop and help you discover something new. But anyway, that is the blooper with the Ciat-Lonbarde Tetrax. Okay, so I've got the blooper paired up with the Bastl Microgranny, the little granular sampler that's really lo-fi and gritty and a lot of fun to play with. And I wanted to use a sampler because even though this loops and effectively samples, I thought this was a good way to get some different sort of source material in the blooper. The Microgranny has a stereo out, but I'm only using one side of the little TRS jack coming out into one, but it works for our purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a sample of vocals.
Some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast food religious experience.
So there you go. So we're going to use some of that. So let's hear what it does with some vocals.
Some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast food religious experience. Some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast food religious
this is
experience.
not playing.
Some kind of transcendental pill which
Looping
enables
in the
a
blooper.
fake fast food religious experience. Some kind of transcendental pill which enables a
Which
fake
it recorded
fast
the
food
noise coming
religious
out of this as well.
experience.
So
Some
if you
kind
hear a
of
little squeal, that's
transcendental
what's
pill
going on.
which enables a fake fast food religious experience. Some kind of
Let's
transcendental
engage the
pill
left
which
side.
enables a fake fast food religious transcendental pill with kind of trans religious religious experience, some religious experience, transcendental pill which enables kind of transcendental pill which enables kind of dental pill which enables a fake fast food religious experience, some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast food religious experience, some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast food religious experience, some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast
Go ahead and
food
engage the right
religious
side as well.
experience. Fake frontal pill, a fake transcendental pill which fake food transcendental some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake transcendental pill fake fast able fake transcendent a fable transcendent which in a transcendental pill translate a fake in a transcendental which enables which enables real kind of fast transcendent foods of innate the transcendence of the transcendence of the transcendence kind of which transcendental able transcendent shields with guidance of shield transcendent which enables kind of turn of a bill which sends the in a dance kind of a bill which sends the in a dance trend kind of trend kind of the transcendence of the transcendence of the transcendental kind of transcendental pill which is a fake which fast food religious experience some transcendentables a fake fast food religious experience some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast food religious experience some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast food religious
Alright, so I'm going to record this in.
some kind of transcendental pill which enables which enables
So it's looping the filter,
which enables
which now, as you can see, I've switched off. So now I can apply other effects from this side with that filter still playing.
Enables Some kind of transcendental pill.
A little AB there.
Some kind of transcendental pill which enables a fake fast food.
Pretty crazy, but you can really take things really far and explore. It's a lot of fun just to twist knobs and see what happens. Let's go ahead and delete this one. So that's cleared out. And of this little interesting sample, so let's get that in there. I'm stopping this because that's really fun to do, and I didn't want to talk over it. It's really fun to do live if you have something going through this, and there's a full mix going on outside. If you have a bit of something that you just grab a quick second of and then jump little octave shifts like that with the stepped playback mode here on this channel. It's really fun because, yeah, it lets you get those sort of like pitched sort of offsets of what's going on live, and you just dip in and grab different segments and just kind of see what happens, and a whole lot of fun. But anyway. So like, for example, maybe not with stability because you'll lose the pitch association from the root, but a lot of fun. I'm going to record some drum hits on top and just kind of see what we get. Yeah, so that's crazy, but pretty cool. I could see it in like a dark sort of hip-hop track. It's almost like SP, Roland SP404, with like the stutter mode. And since I have this on the short sort of snippet, when I punch this in, it'll just stutter it. Pretty cool. Take it back to that very first recording. And adding in those little drum hits, and then the little extra ratchets at the end. Pretty crazy device. You can do a lot, and it really rewards like hands-on experimentation for sure. And it's just, I don't know, it's creative. I don't know how much I would trust it trying to use it live, unless I guess you're really good at it or you have some pre-saved loops and things that are already ready to go. But it's really a lot of fun, at least for me, in a studio setting where you can just experiment, try stuff out, see what happens, and then sample what comes out of it. So one really interesting thing to do is to pair the blooper with a drum machine. You can get little snippets of your groove and kind of transform those and turn it into new sounds and even new patterns. And so we'll experiment with the Roland TR-606, a vintage analog drum machine from the 80s, and definitely one of my favorite sounding drum machines for sure. Okay, so we're just going to experiment. I'm going to try this clean pattern here. So we'll grab a snippet of this. So you can already, it's looping on top of itself. So if you wanted to, you could layer, or you just stop it, and then now you've got what's in the blooper. Really slow it down. You can increase the stability. And see, that sounds cool. Engage the second side here. So this is chopping it. Definitely pretty unpredictable. So like maybe you could play it with the pattern. Maybe slow it down. And then drop the volume a little bit so you just get those occasional little glitch moments. Doesn't sound super clean in this example, but it's perhaps a use case. Go into the filter. Maybe make it blend a little bit better. Go to the high pass side. Really mess up the stability. It's kind of cool. It sounds like batteries are dying. We'll stop the input and just listen to the blooper here. switch up the mode. I think this is dropper mode where it will cut out audio. Either cyclically or random, depending on whether you're to the left of 12 o'clock or to the right. This is just over the edge of reverse and slow. Do the same but forward now. That sounds really cool to me. Like the toms sound all pitched. This is really cool. Okay, we'll delete this one. And let's see. We'll try a different pattern. Record a real short snippet this time. So I have like a very small snippet. We'll record on top of this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Something real crunchy. Layers doesn't work here because if I go back one, oh no, it does. I thought it was too clipped. Yeah, but see that? I would use that in something, or at least it could be inspiration for something. And there we go. That is the blooper with a drum machine. You can definitely do some interesting stuff, capture different layers, different snippets, and just kind of go to town, twist some knobs, and see what you come up with. The Chase Bliss Audio Blooper is a really cool, multifunctional, multi-featured effect that is way more than just a regular looper. You can use it as a tripped out delay and kind of keep your hands off the controls, or you can get your hands in there and really bend your elbows DJ style twisting these knobs. Being from Chase Bliss, the blooper has tons of features with a slew of configuration options on dip switches on the back. The blooper has the trademark Chase Bliss knurled knobs and a bevy of 3-position toggle switches to change modes, and it even has USB so you can save out your recorded loops. This thing does a lot. Of course, being from Chase Bliss, the pedal feels top notch and it all feels really high quality. The foot switches are all soft latching, so it's easy to dip in and out of play or recording modes, and there are a lot of unique performance options with all the hands-on control, which is really nice. I love these arcade-style buttons on the foot of the pedal. The light-up ring on the outside is a nice touch, and they're surprisingly really pleasing to push. To some, the controls might be a bit overwhelming at first, with LED flash sequences and multiple knob combinations, but that's a trade-off worth making to cram this much into a pedal that has this footprint. The Blooper has extensive I/O and lots of ways to control it externally if it's all a bit small for your liking. And you could even use the MIDI box, also from Chase Bliss, to control and sync, which is a lot of fun also. The Blooper sounds great, and it's a ton of fun, and I think if you really want a looper pedal, this is kind of the one to get. It might be a little pricey, but there's really not another one out there quite like it.